so that we will have what they call a market shaping. That means that there will be more potential end customers who can benefit from this kind of applications. And as a result, this will drop the prices.
And how many people are you expecting to be able to use them? I think it's 1 billion people now benefit from assistive technologies. How many by, say, 2030?
So the expectations of the World Health Organization is that this number will double. And these are people who need to access just the assistive technology, people with functional limitations. We should add to that all these potential users, everyone else who benefit from that. So, for instance, people who would otherwise, let's say, not use a hearing aid because they are not yet there, but who could benefit from other products which could help them if they're not hearing that well.
Let's just run through quickly some of the inventions. I mean, it's fascinating. You've got smart mirrors, you've got feeder robots. There was also another invention where it monitored the state of mind of those with depression to perhaps flag a warning sign when they may be feeling very blue.
Yes, this has a particular importance for elderly people or people who suffer from cognitive decline, because thanks to these devices which monitor if, say, somebody has been not feeling very well, then a smart mirror is just an application of that. A smart refrigerator can also track if people are eating or not, which may be also a sign of depression. A smart bathroom can also check if everyone is following their hygiene, or they can track with face recognition how they're feeling.
And Irene Kitsara from WIPO, which is the UN Patent Expert Office, maybe you could tell me how smart your house is. I mean, do you have these smart devices at home? Do you feel that your life needs these assistive technologies?
I think that they are more integrated than I would have thought before this report. So for sure, I have all these smart TVs that make me recommendations on what I may like to see. I have a vacuum cleaner, which is smart and will detect when it is needed to do householding exercise. So I would say there are a lot of these devices that are already there of general use that can benefit everyone. And I'm one of the beneficiaries, for sure.
Many thanks to Irene Kitsara there from the UN World Intellectual Property Organization for explaining how assistive tech is likely to help 2 billion people by 2030. For more information, search online for WIPO's latest report on this. It's called Technology Trends. Now, before we wrap up the show, let's hear from our regular guest, Solange Behoteguy-Cortez. Do you have any thoughts on these virtual aids, Solange? I have to say I'm a big fan because without my hearing aids, home and work life would be pretty rotten. But I look forward to the day, I have to say, when I can fiddle with them to tailor them to my needs without having to ask the technician to adjust them, which is a pretty long and tedious process. Over to you, Solange.
Hola, Daniel. Last night, I accidentally dropped my mobile into the toilet. I felt immediately lost, alone. I need my mobile, but do I miss it also? For a long time, a phone is no longer just a phone. Personally, I am not a fan of having assistive technology at home, but even without wanting to have it, I know that it is already there. At the United Nations, we have this mantra, leave no one behind. To me, it means making sure that people with disabilities, older generations, and those affected by chronic disease are included in society and enabled to live a healthy and dignified life. Before COVID-19, our world was already profoundly unequal. The past year, with the current pandemic, these inequalities have become more visible than ever, including access to assistive technology. According to the World Health Organization, today, only 1 in 10 people in need has access to assistive technology, owing to high costs and a lack of awareness, availability, trained person, and financing. And let's not forget that we are far from equity in terms of basic services, access to electricity, water, roads, and of course, the internet. Don't forget that there are other primary needs that must be solved if assistive technologies are to fulfill their role. For the UN Health Agency, WHO, addressing the unmet need of assistive products is crucial to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, to provide universal health coverage, and to implement the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which has been ratified by 177 countries. The challenge is, as Irene Kitsara said, to democratize the access of these technologies and don't assume that we have already equality. The road ahead is still long, and yet change is coming. And one of these days, maybe, I will have a smart mirror at home, a magic mirror on the wall.
A magic mirror on the wall. Be careful what you wish for. We all know what happened to Narcissus. Thank you, Solange, for that. I think we are pretty much done here. It's been fascinating to talk